Hey, it's Kevin and Fred. Do you have a referral for us here in Phoenix? There are 30,000 agents here that you could send them to. Why us? Well, for one thing, we'll keep you updated and you'll never have to track down your commission.
We'll also make you look really good to your client. And best of all, it helps us keep all this content free. So go to kevinandfred.com/referral to make the introduction. We'll take great care of them.
Welcome back to the Kevin and Fred Show. Micheal Bernoff, how's it going, dude?
I'm not Fred.
You're not, but you are Micheal Bernoff.
I'll take that.
Newly minted author, by the way.
I love it.
Dude, I'm so excited.
Fred wrote the book.
I'm super excited to talk about the book Average Sucks. But before we jump into that, just kind of talk a little bit about you and your journey. And
I'd love that.
We won't go into the long story because I promised you a shorter time frame today. And I know
I told him I was going to do the whole long story.
We could talk for hours about growing up in Jersey and all that, but for the person who doesn't know you yet, maybe like this is their first experience of Micheal Bernoff, give us the elevator pitch of who you are and what you do.
I mean, the big elevator pitch at the end of the day is the reason I wrote Average Sucks is I'm one of these people that literally takes people from where they are and helps them get where they want to go. So for 17 years, we've been obsessed with a very simple thing that communication is the most underdeveloped and underutilized asset that we have as human beings. So we teach people how to influence themselves and get what they want out of life. That's the big thing. I'd rather talk to you than the camera.
Dude, that's pretty solid. You can talk to me too.
You like that?
Like the video is just for extra.
Okay, cool. So you're not there.
Yeah, they're just along for the ride.
Yeah, cool.
So I love that. I don't think I've ever heard you say it exactly like that.
I can say it again. That communication is the most underdeveloped and underutilized asset that we have as human beings, and most people don't know how to do it. And your whole future hinges on your ability to effectively communicate.
All right, so I'm gonna steal part of the punchline because I know that's the thing that you figured out for yourself to help you go from a very, if we could, average life to
humble beginnings,
significantly better, right?
Yes, yes.
So, what was the moment? How did you figure out like, hey, if I communicate with myself differently, was it how to win friends and influence people?
It's interesting, that book. So I went to Arizona State, and then I was invited to not come back after a couple of years. Not come back. I was just told, like, basically, you're not that good at this. Does that make sense? So I went to community college, and while I was at community college, they were offering books you could read, and one was How to Win Friends and Influence People. I don't even know if I read it, but I understood the title. It's like, wait a second, you can get better at things like that. I always thought my whole life, you get what you get, and that's it. I didn't realize that you could actually get better at these things.
That's, it's pretty cool because I know a lot of people too, and grew up opposite side of the country, but it's very similar in a lot of ways to you from a standpoint of like, it always felt like, some people were lucky, like they were born into say a rich or wealthy family, and then other people weren't. So like some things were for them because like they qualified for it somehow, and then some other things weren't for us. Or like there's this other group
we
of people.
We don't get that stuff.
It's like we don't get to get in that line. And so I can totally relate to that. So why write a book, man? Because here's the thing that people don't know yet.
There's torture too.
I know it is, just because we're friends in real life, and I've been along for the ride for a few years, and have talked to you many times about the book, which I'm glad that it got here, and I'm ready to.
That's great too.
To dive into. It is a great book actually, and I can attest to that. It's not even like I'm not just saying that because we're friends. It's a great book, and it's more importantly like I think it's a great message, and it's something that people need to hear. You've been helping people for years though. Like, dude, I've been to your seminars, bro. I've come to your seminars. I've sent friends to them, and every single person, Fred. And like Fred, anybody who knows Fred knows that he's not like easy to please, and he was blown away, like absolutely blown away from core, right? And my friend, I was just talking to another friend, Tommy, the other day, who we went to HIT together. Actually, I met him there. We didn't go together, but my friend Carly was there at the same time.
Carly was great,
And everyone's like, yeah, it's awesome. So you've been impacting people for a long time, but like, why write a book?
So a couple of reasons. One is I wrote the book was part of my getting out of my own average. So I didn't need to write the book. The problem was when I went to write this, and I'll share this a lot, is that a 9-year-old boy tried to write the book, and getting over my ADD, getting over my I got to do it all myself. I got to figure it out. I thought it would be a good idea to have a book because that's what people have. You're supposed to have a book. You're supposed to have. And then I realized it's hard to write a book, to be honest with yourself and share with the world. Like, what if they don't like it? Like, I got to put this out there. Like, it's scary to write a book, right? And then what happened is I turned around about 42 years old after messing with the book for about 8 years. And then I realized, wait a second. What can someone that's worked with hundreds of thousands of people, that's impacted lives, that has millions of people they've spoken for, is married, has got great kids, got a great life, what can that person do? And that person got the book done in 5 days. So for me, becoming who I am, the old me could have never written the book. That's a non-author. Who I am now is an author. So like, here's the greatest thing I want everyone to experience in life is the night that the book came out. It was, we broke Amazon. Let me explain what I mean by that is, we got so many reviews real quickly from our clients waiting to buy the book to get a review that literally they thought they were fake. We got like a ban on our account, like in 1 minute. 12:01, we got a ban. Like Corbin over there couldn't even leave a review. Literally, right? That guy right there could not leave a review at 12:01. Awesome. It's crazy, right? And I'm telling you this because the night I got the book done, I realized, wait a second, I made it so important, like I made it this big deal, and then it's not a big deal. Like, it needed to be a big deal to get me excited about it. I wasn't let down. It was like, wait a second, what next can I do? What's the next book I'm gonna make? What else can I do now that I'm an author? So like, we as human beings make such a big deal about things. It's like selling a first house. Oh my God, first house, get it out of the way. 10 houses in a month, get it out of the way. Build a team of 10, get it out of the way. I mean, I know your industry too.
Yep.
And it's like most people, oh my God, what am I gonna say on the showing? Just get it out of the way, stop making a big deal.
I love that. So, all right, so let's talk about this for a second. Because so the title of the book, if you haven't figured it out yet, haven't seen it, Average Sucks.
It's everywhere.
It's on the shirt. Yeah. It's on his license plate outside the building where we're sitting right now. It's everywhere, right? So, but most people, when they hear Average Sucks, they think, yeah, I don't want to be average either, right?
Yep.
But that's not what it is. So, do me a favor, tell us what Average Sucks means to you.
Yeah, when people see it immediately, the first reaction they have is, yeah, dude, I'm better than you. I'm better than this. I'm better than that. I'm better than you. Yeah, screw them. They're average. All that stuff. That's the Average Sucks. That's what everybody thinks. And a lot of people like that. They're like, they'll wear the shirt for that reason. They look great in their muscle tee, and they say I'm above average. What Average Sucks is something different. So when I first said it the first time, I was in a group of very highly functioning doctors. 1,000 medical professions in the world, the unicorns of the world, like making $1 million a year plus. And I looked them in the eyes, and I look at these guys, and I said, you know what your problem is? And they're like, what? You're average. And I waited, and I waited, and I waited, and I waited, and they're like, I don't want to hear that. My average? What are you talking about? I'm not average. Look at me, I've done this. I'm like, no. You're not average, but it's your average that holds you back. You have an average, I have average. Every agent has an average amount of houses they sell. Yep. Every marketer has an average amount of returns they get to leads. Every single person has the average amount of times they work out. We all are dominated by our average, and your average controls your life, and your average is your identity.
That's the part that really hit me, was like, it actually controls your identity.
Controls your life. If you try to make more money, your average pulls you back. If you try to work out, and I say try, you will fail. Like if you see yourself as an alcoholic, you can try to be sober, you'll always be an alcoholic. You have to change your average, which is become a healthy person. So people don't get. They don't understand that. You are owned by your current identity.
That's crazy. And is it safe to say we all have not just one identity or one average, but like we're average, we have our average relationship and our average business, yes, or our average job and our average physical fitness and our average whatever, you'll fill in the blank, like yes, all the different categories. And so we have all of these averages, and they could all move?
Well, what it is that you got to a point in your life where even average was your whole overarching aspect of your life. How we got this average is there was a time in your life where you said to yourself, never again. And you said to yourself, I will never ever do that again. I'll never make that a little amount of money. I'll never be treated poorly. I'll never not make the commissions I want to make. I will never do blank. And you said never again. You didn't even know you did it. And at that moment, your average got started. And then you said, but I want that. So you live bouncing back between I don't want, I do want, I don't want, I do want, I don't want, I do want, I don't want. You don't actually get what you want, but you don't go there and you don't go there, and you live everywhere in the middle. So we live our whole lives in the middle of what we want, wanting it and avoiding, wanting and avoiding, wanting and avoiding. This is most people's existence. Most people, I'm just gonna tell you, almost every dinner conversation is what I want and don't want.
It's true.
And that's where most people don't get what they want. Most people don't talk about how they're gonna do it, they just want it.
So they want something more, but is it that they don't want to do what it takes?
They can't do it.
Or they don't see themselves as
You can't do it. That's the part people don't get about your average. They don't get like you can't do it as you. So there's 3 ways to change your life. One is to outgrow your current situation and step out of it. Just like literally grow. Personal development, become more confident, become better communicator, become a better parent, just like grow out of your problem. Number two is that you could get support from someone else. Let somebody else guide you. If you're coachable, let them help you. Number three is run your head into a freaking wall and try to freaking knock the wall down, and I'll do it myself. And that's what most people are doing. They're trying to figure, and they might be running their head into the wall by reading books. They're running their head like this into the wall, and they don't realize that we need to grow and step over the wall into the life you want. And you're still gonna have an average, but you're gonna have the average you actually chose, not the one you chose randomly back here.
You're gonna have a new average.
The new average. You're always gonna be battling with averages.
Right.
Everything's a percentage.
No matter how big of a performer you are, right? Or
doesn't matter.
no matter how high you perform, how well you perform, it'll just be a new average.
New average.
And then can you get better from there?
You get a new average. The question is, what average are you living? Are you living the one you want or the one that you've been living? And most people are living the life they've been living. This whole COVID thing woke people up. It's like, what do you want? What do you want to do? Like, is this what you want? If this is what you want, stay home. Just collect your check, stay home. If you want to produce something, now you got a chance.
So I'm going to veer off the conversation here because you brought it up, like the COVID thing, because you and I have talked about this, like, gosh, a handful of times in the last 2 or 3 months.
Yep.
Like, tell me, like, in your experience, because you're talking to so many people every day. You're running thousands of people through your
every week.
Through your phone course every week.
Yep.
Like, what is the prevailing mindset? Like, what's going on out there? And what are people learning from this, or are they gonna choose a new average, or are they going backwards? What are you seeing?
So there's a big group of people awakening right now, and what I mean by awakening is like, wait a second, what I'm doing is not working. So I would say the group of people that would have been in the personal development, maybe it was 3% of the world, it may have moved to 7. Okay, so a little more people, which is great. I'm also going to tell you there's 3 camps of people. There's people that literally are using this as an excuse. Like when Pier 1 went out of business, they were out of business in January. They're using this as an excuse. It's kind of like, well, you know, I can't make the prom because I got the flu. No, you're scared to ask her out. You're going to blame it on the flu. Does that make sense?
Totally.
So certain people are going to use this. Not everyone, not people watching your show, but certain people are going to use this as an excuse for not having to follow through, and they're going to like, see, Corona did it. And that could have been, see, my ex-husband did it. See, my ex-wife did it. My current wife did it, okay? And then there's another group of people that are going to look and go, wait a second, I'm not where I want to be, and they're going to go do something. There's 3 camps, and people are going to vary which camp they're in based on what's going on in their life.
So let me tell you, like, so my real estate team, right?
Yep.
We do pretty good, and just
you do better than pretty good. Pretty good is Joe down the block. You do better than good.
Okay, we're good, but we also have varying degrees of good within our team, right? Within our organization. And what I saw happen over the last 90 days or so is the ones that weren't producing or really weren't doing anything, they continue to do that and just hit a little bit more. And the ones that were producers and the ones that like dig in and work and want to get better, like they have taken, like their businesses are actually better today than they were 90 days ago. And the other folks that weren't so good, like I was telling a guy who works with us, I just said, you know, he was concerned about a few people, and I said, you got to understand, Joe, like this is just their current excuse for not doing whatever it is that they say that they want. And I mean, is that accurate? Like, is my representation or my experience?
You're correct. Basically, what's going on is we've got a group of people that are going for more, and they want to go for more, which is fantastic. That's the group that's doing more. Also, I'm going to tell you, it's easier now than ever before. Half the world is taking a nap, so your competition's out. So they're scared of taking a nap. Like, so if you're playing a sports team, I'm a hockey guy, but in basketball, football, anything, if the guy you're playing against has a bum knee, you got an advantage.
Right.
So your competition's got a bum knee right now. They're lazy, they're scared, they're worried, they're concerned, they're homeschooling their kids. That alone is a disadvantage. So the guy that used to move 90 houses a month now has got to help homeschool, he's got a disadvantage going on. So if you're willing to dominate during that time, you get ahead. That's how you get ahead in business.
So like now you can hip check them and you're going to get
hip check and knock them over.
Yeah.
Elbow to the back of the head. Yeah.
Nice. I like it. Okay. Look at that little hocky analogy, right?
Like,
hip check's right. Did I say that right?
Hip check's good.
I've never played hockey, but I know you're a hockey guy. So, okay. So this is so what I'm hearing, what I'm thinking, because like, okay, you know my story. We've talked about it. I got into real estate in 2007. What was going on here in Phoenix? It was falling apart.
And that's at the Kingdom Living event. You were there.
Yeah. And what I realized is, like, oh my goodness, everyone's like telling me what a terrible time to get in real estate. But in my mind, I was like, that's just what it was. People were going backwards, and I was going full. I felt like it was such an advantage to me to start my career at that time. And I feel like right now is another one of those moments in time where half the people are sleeping, or they've got the bum knee, they've got the disadvantage, and now's an opportunity for people, regardless if they're in real estate or not, to go get more market share or get further ahead than where they were 90 days ago.
Yes. So the point is, what people need to do right now is they can decide what they want. So the book, we battled with the subtitle forever. I wanted to make it like average sucks, the psychological triggers to do whatever. And then we're like, Deborah goes, why don't you make it simple, what it really does? Why you don't get what you want and what to do about it. So right now, you just got to ask yourself, what do you want? And it's a great opportunity. If you want to stay home, build a life to just sit at home. If you want to build something big, go build a life, build something big. So if you know what you want, then you can go get it. But most people want 80 things and you want little pieces of 80 things. Get really clear on what you want and go get it. This book shows you exactly how to build a person that automatically gets what you want. You need to build your wantingness and your obsession towards something that you shouldn't have to force. Like, here's the crazy part, Kevin. If you like, if I looked at your records for real estate, you and Fred, and I looked at everything over the last years, there's a number there. There's an average. That you know that within every one of your agents, there's an average, right? So it's right now May, almost June, and if I said you have to hibernate for the next 90 days, you're not allowed to do anything. Nothing. It's not COVID. Everything will be safe. You'll be okay. Your bills will get paid. You're not allowed to do anything for 90 days. You can't make any money, but your bills will get paid. I can guarantee you by September, you would be motivated again. And from September to January, you would make up those numbers and the 90 days prior numbers. Because that's what we do as human, because you'd have to.
Because like I have this like internal desire or drive to hit my average.
It's necessary. Remember, the liar lies, the drinker drinks, the judgmental person's judgmental.
It's who I am.
It's who you are. You are what you currently do. But if what you do is not what you want, we have a problem. And that's where the book comes in.
Okay, so that's what this
is
can help you
secretly
do.
That. So the agent, this is not about how to be motivated. There's a part about motivation in here. This is how to override unconsciously in your brain. Because like I spent the majority of my life pretending I wasn't good at things that I was good at. I lied to myself for years. I had no idea, like I would pretend, well, I'm not good at this, I'm not good at that. Like you just one day are gonna be good at it and you always were good at it. You just lie to yourself. Not you personally, but we all lie.
We all do it, right?
Yeah.
So I can go on so much, but like I wanna ask a couple other kind of like off.
Ask, anything you want. And everybody get the book, averagesucks.com.
You are, we're gonna link to it.
Yeah.
You're absolutely gonna buy a copy of this. You'll probably buy 2 so that way you can give one out.
Well, thank you for it too. The feedback we're getting is incredible. I expected it, but
every single person who's read this so far that I've
even our most critical friend,
they're all thinking, yes. Yeah, I know he's excited on it. So he's been a guest before,
yeah.
And by the way, he's critical. He doesn't give anybody a free pass.
Good critical.
He never gives you. Yeah. He's tough but fair. We're talking about our buddy Luke, and he's tough but fair, but he's for sure tough.
Yep.
You know, he does not give out compliments.
Of 4 brothers.
Yeah, you have to be tough, right? Yeah. What was the funnest part about doing this? Once you decided, hold on a second, I'm gonna write a book. I am the guy that can write a book.
Yep, that was the big thing. Here's the best part of the book. It's nothing to do with the book. You know, the greatest moment of my life, I actually asked Deborah for help. And so I have the guy that helped me with the book Tucker helped write 10 million copies. So he did David Goggins' book.
Yeah.
And he helped, David wrote David's book, I wrote my book, but they helped with the publishing and the editing and everything. And Tucker did at least 10 million copies of his book. And he's helping me over here and I'm not listening. Deborah says, I didn't want to ask my wife for help. But I just said, hey, do you mind if I just show you what I did? And I want to, and then like she's gonna critique it and everything, and then I gotta, blah, blah, blah. And she took it and tweaked a couple things and helped me get it, and we got over the finish line. The greatest thing about the book was I asked for help and I let somebody help me. And I let people help me because remember the 9-year-old boy that was trying to write the book, the greatest realization, wait a second, I'll let her help me. The book's done like 4 or 5 days later.
Is it because you're always the helper? Because dude, whether you're on stage, like I've seen you on stage, but then I've seen you in social settings, I've seen you in masterminds, you're always the guy that's a resource to everyone else.
Yes.
So you said, hold on, I'm gonna tap one of my resources, which happens to be your wife, who's awesome.
Yep.
By the way, she was like, she came downstairs before you came down and she was like, elbows or hugs? I was like, no, give me a damn hug. Like it's been too long. And so she's amazing. And so you took her help. You let her be the resource. I took her help,
but here's the problem. Michael currently wasn't an author. My old average was non-author. My current average is Michael helps people, not Michael takes help. So 99 out of 100, Michael is going to give help versus take help. It is not my average to actually ask for help. In order to be the new average, I actually have to ask for help.
Did you know like...
it was a peak emotional experience.
Okay, so it wasn't like a intellectual thing. It was a peak emotional experience where you said,
I have no idea. I said, help. Does that make sense? I got her to just said it. And boom. She said, of course. And then literally she looked at it, liked, didn't like, shifted some things, asked, we agreed, didn't agree, blah, 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 got it done. Then the whole book's laid out in this office, boom, boom, boom. Whole thing's laid out, off to the printer, published, boom, boom, done.
That's awesome. You know, what's funny is I've noticed, even just online, because today's the first time I've seen Deborah in a while too, I could tell how like excited for you she is.
Oh, she's so excited.
She's like, she is freaking grinning ear to ear. She posted the picture of you actually smiling, like your big, what you call it, your proud smile.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, she's so stoked right now. This is awesome.
Well, she's happy because it's me. I showed up. You know, saying because we're being part of ourselves. Because the whole average thing is like most people are like, hey, I want to be like someone else. You see this one agent, let's just say, or you see like I want to be like them, and you spend your whole life gravitationally pulling to be like Kim Kardashian or being like this YouTuber or being like this, versus being all of yourself. See, when you fully show up, I think there's enough in all of us to produce 10 lifetimes worth of goals that we're so enamored by thinking, oh, Joe and Bill and Susie, and they got all the answers. All of the stuff is inside of us. So guy says to me, I talk about in the book, he goes, how tall are you? And I go, I'm 6'6". He goes, start acting like it. And I'm like, that was big. So I'm acting 5'11" and I'm 6'6". That's 6-7 inches of me, a capacity that I could grow that everyone has that they're not using.
That's a big amount of capacity that you're not using. You know what I love, and not to give too much away, this one, but like this, you shared the story about deciding that you did score goals.
Yes.
Like, that when I read that, I was like, that's badass. He just decided he's gonna now be the guy that scores the goals.
I spent my whole life playing hockey and thinking I couldn't score goals. I even played defense so I didn't have to score goals. I didn't want to be uncomfortable. I didn't want to have the puck. And then I'm sitting here 40 years old. I'm like, what the hell am I doing? I'm not scoring. I can shoot hard. I know how to shoot. What am I doing? And then I'm like, what does a goal scorer do? They put the puck in the goal. What do salespeople do? You know what they do? They sell.
They sell.
What do people that think they're good? Like I said to a guy once, I said, how good are you at sales? He goes, I'm great. I go, what do you make a year? He goes, I make 72,000. I said, you're not that good at sales. You're good, you're not great. If you're great, you're Bobby Axelrod in Billions. Does that make sense? You're not that good. So how hard is it to admit you're not that good? You can be great. For me, I look at things and I accept I'm not good. And as soon as I say I'm not good, I get a chance to get better. Scary, powerful stuff.
Okay, so not to pick on that one individual person, but like
Bobby Axelrod?
No. I mean, it's hard to pick on Bobby Axelrod.
Yeah. From Billions.
I mean, there's a couple things. It's an awesome show, by the way, if you haven't seen it.
Save your energy.
So the guy that says, oh, I'm great at sales, is that a defense mechanism?
It's his average. He's good based on his current reality, not based on his capability. So this is something I say in the book. Your average hangs out with your possibilities, okay, or your potential, either word you want to use,
okay,
and they think they're friends. Your average is the friend that comes over that curses and smokes and wants to hang out with your 8-year-old. You should tell your average to fuck off. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Meaning, and not in a bad way. That's why it's called average sucks and not average stinks.
Yeah.
So the point is, they hang out as best friends, your average and your potential. And you know what happens? They intermingle with each other. And
your potential goes backwards, right? Because you're the average of like the 5 people you're hanging out with the most. And
but metaphorically, my potential, all of Michael's ability, all Kevin's ability, all everyone's ability is hanging out with your average, and that's when we lose.
So we got to raise our average.
100%.
We're going to raise our average.
You have to raise what happens automatically so your life gets easier and you get what you want automatically. This book is not about hard work. This book is about making your life easier than it currently is.
I love that.
That's exciting. We don't want people to work hard, dude. It's not about the numbers. Dude, the numbers, like I know you teach numbers. If you make 100 calls, 100 dials, you made 100 dials. You either made 100 dials or you get 100 dials better. Question is, what do you want? Do you want to be better at sales, or do you want to make 100 dials? Most people, everyone's got it wrong their whole life. So I make 1,000 calls, I make 100 calls, I get 3 people to buy. I make 200, get 9 people to buy. Oh, dude, you're better because you've been calling. No, you're better permanently because you've done the 200. So the question is, how fast are you going to become a more confident communicator? It's not a numbers game. It's a you get better thing.
So we're making the 100 dials so we can get better at those calls.
So you get better at life.
Not so we can say I made 100 dials.
No, you're making 100 dials, so when you're done with 100 dials, you're a better communicator.
That's huge. And the communication starts with yourself, or?
You start with both. There's all kinds of communication, but this communication, people communicate. Just learning how to not be bothered by the 100 calls is the gift. Jim Rohn was I have my dad, and I have Jim Rohn, which was like my business dad as a kid. And Jim always said, very simply, set your goal to become a millionaire, not because of the money, but the person it makes you in the process.
Like you have to grow into that. Your average has to get better.
Yes. Yeah.
Dude, I love that.
This is good, man. We're getting fired up around here. We're gonna go just destroy things and build things.
Absolutely. Well, we're gonna go destroy our average sucks part.
Yes.
We're gonna make our new average better.
Yes. You'll never be happy with your average if what you want is not what you're doing. Make sense?
That's deep.
So if what you want is to move, like, what is the average person that's watching this? Are they in real estate?
Yep.
If the average person watching this is, let's say you move 3 houses a month. 3 a year for a lot of people in good markets is great, but let's just say 3 a month, right? If that's your average, but you want to do 9, you can't be you anymore. You have to be the person that does 9. And it's not fake it till you make it, is that you need to grow.
You need to grow into that person.
You could pretend you're gonna do 9 and you can lie to yourself, and every once in a while you might get 9.
But the person that does 9 versus
It's a different person.
They do different things than the person that sells 3.
They act differently. I mean, one guy could have been a Marine recruiter. Like, oh, dude, he's been in real estate a month. Why is he good? Yeah, because he used to send young boys and girls off to war at the mall. Does that make sense? Of course he's good at sales.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? You don't know what people have been through. So the question is, you're either going to go through it and become more. You can either grow and become better, confidence, communication, congruency, do what you said you're going to do, become more confident, become a better communicator, or you're going to be a person that bitches and complains. I'd rather grow than bitch and complain.
Growing sounds better.
I'm going to tell you, the majority of the real estate is just bitches and complains.
Yes.
Yeah. You need to stop that. And your bitching and complaining makes you a bitcher and complainer.
Not any better. Yeah. Just a bitcher and complainer.
You're thinking right now we either lost our audience or we haven't.
Oh no, I'm trying to catch up with you. Okay, website is
averagesucks.com. We own the domain. We own everything. I own the trade name. I own it all. I own the whole concept. averagesucks.com.
I love it.
But here's the thing. I own it, so I can give it to you. And like Chip says, it's not a like slogan. It's a statement.
It's a statement.
So when you wear the shirt "Average Sucks," it basically says, "I'm refusing to be average."
I love it.
And you
it's
wear
like
it
a
to your
reminder.
cape.
Yeah.
So averagesucks.com.
Averagesucks.com. Guys, get the book. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. I can guarantee.
Send it back if you don't like it. You won't.
No, there's no way.
Average people, yeah.
So is that where people should catch up with you at?
Yeah, I mean, the next best thing is like if you go to averagesucks.com, you can pick Kindle or hardback, whatever. It's sold all over the world. If you're in Canada watching this, you got to go to the Canadian Amazon. If you're in Europe, go to the European Barnes and Nobles. You can get the book anywhere. The point is, I always say that the best way to explain, you can go to my website, Micheal Bernoff, but don't. I'm going to give you something better. I'd like to work with you, and I'd like to let anybody take one of our classes. So if anyone wants this, go to calltoactiontime.com. It's actiontime.com. Anyone wants to work with us, you can work live with me in a group setting for free for a few days. If you like me, we'll figure it out from there. But it's during COVID, I realized, why not just help people?
Hold on. I want to say something. And
you purchased that class?
I did purchase that class. I did Call to Action, and I already liked you as a friend before, but damn, I hated you at the beginning of that,
Yep.
and then loved you even more before 5 days was over.
It's over the phone. You don't have to even leave your house. It's COVID friendly.
Oh man, I was so mad at you, and then I was like, oh man, I love this guy so much, because that class was so impactful. So I can't recommend that enough. Like that is a
He
big
paid
fat
for it. You get it for free.
Stamp of approval. Like absolutely do that. AverageSucks.com. Check it out. I will also link to the call to action as well.
Yeah, call to action time. Do it. I mean, if you're serious about it, I've only worked with about 5,000 agents. I've been in almost every major stage of every real estate company. I keep on getting welcome back. I'm responsible for selling tens of thousands of investment properties for people over the years. So we know what we're doing, but you're not going to learn sales stuff from me. You're going to learn how to sell yourself, because I know my next book. I know the name of it already.
Do you?
Yeah. It's called How to Market to Yourself.
Cheers. Oh, so maybe it's for the next time, but I have a story about that, because you taught me how to do that one time.
Yep.
We had a phone call about that. Gosh,
How to sell yourself on things.
Must have been like 5-6 years ago.
We'll tease them
I'll
next
never forget
interview.
that call.
Yeah.
I'll never forget it. All right, guys, AverageSucks.com. Check it out. Micheal Bernoff. Thanks, dude.
Appreciate it.
I
Get it for
appreciate
your
it.
team too. They'll love it.
Talk to you guys soon.